You think Shutter Island is a detective story. A U.S. Marshal hunts for a missing patient on a remote, fortress-like island. But the final twist reveals he isn't searching for anyone. He's searching for himself. And when the truth finally arrives, it's not a shocking reveal. It's a quiet heartbreak you never saw coming. The film opens with a ferry cutting through thick fog. US Marshal Teddy Daniels approaches Shutter Island, a place that looks more like a prison than a hospital. He's here to investigate a woman who vanished from a locked room. The idea sounds impossible, but Teddy is convinced something sinister is happening at the Ashcliffe psychiatric facility. From the moment he steps onto the island, things feel wrong. The guards stare too long, the patients whisper secrets. The doctors are polite, but their eyes tell another story. Teddy believes the island hides dark experiments, a conspiracy to control minds. The film encourages you to follow his suspicion, pulling you deeper and deeper into his world. But Teddy is also carrying heavy memories. He has flashbacks to World War II, specifically the liberation of Dachau. We see piles of frozen bodies, scenes of brutal revenge. These moments are based on historical records, but in the film, they feel more symbolic. They represent the violence that has carved itself into Teddy's mind. His dreams bleed into reality so often that by the midpoint of the film, you can feel that something inside him is beginning to collapse. He also dreams of his wife, Dolores. She appears in his visions, warm and glowing, but also broken. Fire surrounds her, ash falling like snow. She speaks in riddles, warning him about a man named Lettuce. Teddy insists that Lettuce is the man who burned down their apartment building, killing Dolores. This trauma shapes his every move. While searching for the missing patient, Teddy starts noticing contradictions. Staff members repeat the same rehearsed lines. Patient records look too clean. A doctor disappears without any explanation. All the clues feel like they've been planted. He becomes convinced the doctors are hiding something, that they've drugged him, causing his headaches, nausea, and dizziness. He decides that the lighthouse on the far cliff must be the center of it all. Now, the film shifts. The island becomes a maze. Teddy runs through storms, across cliffs, and into abandoned wards. He meets a woman hiding in a cave who claims she's a former doctor, fired for refusing to join unethical research projects. But here's what many viewers miss on the first watch. Her entire story is shaky. Everything she says perfectly mirrors Teddy's own growing paranoia. She tells him the exact things he already suspects, which makes her feel less like a real person and more like a projection of his own troubled mind. The film leaves this intentionally unclear, but the evidence leans heavily toward delusion. As he pushes deeper into his investigation, tiny cracks appear everywhere. People know things they shouldn't. Conversations feel circular and strange. Even his partner, Chuck, seems uncomfortable and out of place. When Chuck suddenly disappears, Teddy fears the worst. But the story is steering him toward a point where everything he believes to be true will be stripped away. Finally, he reaches the lighthouse. He expects to find machines, secret files, and evidence of terrible experiments. Instead, he finds a doctor waiting calmly for him. And this is where the illusion shatters and the truth takes its place. The doctor explains that Teddy is not a U.S. Marshal. He is Andrew Lettuce, a patient admitted to the hospital after he murdered his wife. His wife, Dolores, had drowned their 3 children during a psychotic break. Andrew, unable to accept what had happened, shot her. The guilt completely shattered him. To keep from facing this unbearable memory, he constructed an elaborate fantasy. In his world, he is a heroic marshal investigating a crime. In reality, the missing patient he's been searching for is himself. The entire investigation on the island, every clue, every suspicion, every name he chased, was part of his own imagination, carefully guided by his doctors as a form of therapy. They confirm that this whole scenario was a radical role-playing experiment. They allowed Andrew to act out his fantasy, hoping he would confront the truth and break the cycle of his delusion. They tried this because all previous treatments had failed. This was their last attempt before a lobotomy. Now comes the final emotional punch. Andrew seems to accept it all. He remembers the truth, and for a moment he appears fully lucid. He talks calmly, acknowledging what he did. It feels like a breakthrough, a victory. But the next morning, he slips again. He calls his doctor, Chuck, and starts talking about their case, as if the breakthrough never happened. The clarity is gone, or so it seems. He then turns to his doctor and asks a single question that has left audiences debating for years. Which would be worse, to live as a monster or to die as a good man? Some believe he truly relapsed into his delusion, but many others, and I agree, believe he chose to pretend. He chose the lobotomy because the truth of what he had done was simply too painful to live with. His tone in that final moment is calm, deliberate. He understands everything, he just can't bear it. The guards come and take him away. He walks quietly, with no fight left in him. It's one of the softest, saddest endings in modern cinema. Not a shocking twist, but a quiet surrender. Shutter Island isn't a story about solving a mystery. It's a story about the mind's incredible, desperate ability to protect itself from unbearable truth. Every clue, every hallucination, every symbol pointed back to one thing: a man trying to escape his own memory. When you rewatch the film, you realize the clues were never hidden. They were there all along, in plain sight. They were just too painful for Andrew to accept. And that's why the ending feels so heavy. It's not the shock of a twist. It's the quiet sound of acceptance. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into your favorite films. See you next time.